darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping.
So if you're not aware, I placed second place at Northeast's Strongest Man and Woman on the weekend. I was awarded first place on the night and then woke up to a message or received a message the next morning saying that after recalculating the scores, I actually placed second by half a point. This was disappointing, as you can imagine. I was really surprised on the night when they said that I'd won. I hadn't been calculating the scores throughout the day, or I hadn't looked at the scores, I should say, throughout the day. But I had an idea where I was at most of the time and thought I was in second place and needed a bit of a miracle on the last event in order to win the whole day. So when I was awarded first place, I kind of thought maybe I'd stuffed up the scores in my head, or the miracle had happened and someone had got in between Aaron and I on the last event, which would give me the win. So when I received the message, I was a bit disheartened and disappointed, but I wasn't surprised. It is what it is, so I'm trying to have a little bit of fun with these videos at the moment, just to make light of the situation. I know that the organisers and scorers would have felt pretty bad, and Aaron, who won, it sucks to be him as well, because he doesn't get that moment on the night to be awarded the trophy and the title. Now, I've got all these photos of me with a trophy that I can't share, or that I don't want to look at, and he's probably got photos of him, with his second place medal that, I bet he wishes that he had the some photos in that moment with the trophy. So it is what it is. It happens in this sport. It's human error. Unfortunately, that's the second time it's happened to me. The first time last year at the Arnold's, at least, I wasn't actually awarded the trophy. I was just told that I'd placed equal first, and then before the trophy was presented to me and announced, they told me that they'd mucked up the scores there as well. So hopefully that's the last of it, and there's no more mucking with my emotions in my head, you bastards. As a whole, the comp was fantastic. So it started at 3 p.m. at night. So it was the first time doing a day/nighttime twilight evening competition. I really liked it. I was much less tired at this competition than I have been at the last few comps. And, it went till about 10:30 at night, and the last event was around 9 or 9:30. So I was getting, as tired as everyone else was after a big day. But it wasn't like these other comps I've been doing recently, where like the first and second event I'm just exhausted. Scenery was amazing. I was at a winery up in Beechworth. Really cool vibes, great people, just a really fun competition. I took it very seriously. I trained for this comp for the last 7 weeks. I weighed in at 88.5 kilos, so I've put on a decent amount of size since the last competition, which was the goal. Came in feeling really strong, probably the strongest I've felt in a long time. No niggles or injuries, apart from my usual tight back that I get due to my posture and my rear delt. Whoa, look at them. And my rear delt, it plays up from time to time, but for the most part felt really strong. Probably the strongest I've ever felt coming into a competition. So first event up was the Dannett Stones, named after Mason from Stand or Submit, who came up with the event, or maybe he designed it, I'm not sure. This is it here. So I went first. This is the first heat. We got, Lockie and Beck Singleton. We were the first ones to go, so we pulled a number out of the hat, and unfortunately we picked out number 1, so we had to go first, and you had to move it. It was about 12 meters, and you saw how it was done there from start to finish. I came second. In that event by half a second, so that's one of the events where if I'd finished half a second faster and got first, I would have won the whole day. So there's going to be a lot of what ifs and things like that is the running theme of the competition, but no stuff ups there. Really happy with how I did, and a second place was a good start. They were really, really slippery stones. They're actually only 75 kilos, those stones, which is really light. And I practiced, you were allowed to wear gloves and those guards, and with the gloves on, it was probably grippier, but I had to pick it up slightly different and waste a little bit of time getting my hands underneath the stone, whereas with the guards, which I borrowed from Scott, I could just scoop it up, which is my natural technique, and it didn't matter where my hands were so much. So I thought that would be a faster technique tip on the day, and I was happy with my time. So, although it would have been nice to go half a second faster, watching that again now, I don't really think I made any mistakes or wasted too much time. It was Aaron who won that event, and he was just faster than me. Second event was the Viking press for reps. From memory, it's 100 kilos in the hands. Because I came second in the event prior to this, I got to go second last. So I had a number in mind that I wanted to hit, which was 18. I think I wanted 18 reps. And I got 16 reps, which was enough for equal second. Aaron got 19, I think, to win. And I tied with Carl on 16 reps. And I do go for the 17th rep, you'll see. And if I'd got that 17th rep, that would have been another half point. So I still don't think I would have won. That wouldn't have been a make or break, that rep there. Just would have been an extra half point, which means I would have tied with Aaron and still might not have won the day on count back. So missed the rep there. Still no regrets. Like it's all good to say I wish I'd done 3 more reps, but I was happy with how I did. I was happy with how I trained for that event, and I went for that last rep and it just wasn't there. It's not like I stuffed up or my feet moved or I didn't breathe correctly. I just wasn't strong enough to get that next rep. No regrets really with that event. Really happy with how I did. As I said, that was enough for second place, which meant that on the third event, the deadlift for reps, I got to go second last again. So I had a number in mind. This event was terrible. Really cool implement, deadlift for reps, really cool event. So it started at maybe 160 kilos and then it's 15 or 20 kilo increments up to a top weight of 250 kilos. And then in the remainder of your time, just as many reps as you can do. So I lost a little bit of time there. There was a missed load and I lost a few seconds. So maybe I could have fit in 1 more rep if I hadn't lost that time there. Regardless, I got 26 reps, which was, am I happy with that? God. It was brutal. My legs, I step off that platform and my legs just gave out. My quads were so dead and burnt. So I said at the time on the day, that is the hardest I've ever pushed in a competition on any event, on any like AMRAP type event. That was that was mentally tough as well as physical, because as you can see, it's still moving pretty easily because of the, because it's on the tire. So it kind of gives a little when you first start to lift it. I was never going to miss a rep. If you pull on those horns, if you pull on the bar, it's going to go up. So if you don't pull, it's because you're mentally just given up or because you don't want to. So that was 26 reps. That was enough for equal first with Aaron. I wasn't able to watch him do it. I was lying down somewhere. I was so toast. Brutal event. Still happy with how I did. I trained the same way as everyone else for that event. I increased my trap bar deadlift. I've got 7 weeks of footage on YouTube, so you can watch 7 weeks of me training to increase my max effort trap bar deadlift. And I did a few AMRAP sets, but nothing really prepared me for how tough that event was. Event 4 was the natural stones. This was my favourite event for the day. I'd done this once before up at ASA Nationals in Gold Coast in 2017. I really like this event. My stone loading has been going great lately. I spent a lot of time warming up for this event, so practicing on the stones. So I had a plan for each stone on how I was going to pick it up. And it paid off because I won this event. I was 3 seconds ahead of second place, which was Aaron again, the guy who won the event. And just watching it now, I actually haven't really studied this to see how I went. I think they range from 60 something kilos up to 111 kilos. That one was 106 and the last one 111. And those two were much easier to get under, just the normal shape. The other one was kind of a Husafel shape, so that was a bit harder. So first place on that event, that was my first event win for the day because the deadlift was tied for first. That was my first outright win. I've still got some gross scars at the moment. That probably doesn't look too bad at the moment, but in person it's green, which sucks. But it doesn't hurt, it just looks feral. And then we're up to the last event, which was the Bink Stone replica carry. So you had to carry these replica Bink Stone handles as far as you could. I think we had a time limit, I don't even know. So I didn't know this at the time, but I was 1.5 points out of the lead here. So 1.5 points behind Aaron. So I would need to beat him and have someone come in between us to get that 2-point buffer to win by 0.5 point. I didn't know at the time, and it wouldn't have really changed how I attacked the event anyway. I went and had a cider because I was tired and thirsty and just wanted to relax a little bit more. I don't know what my thought process was there. No regrets though. I think I got like 3 meters. I didn't have any real number in mind. I just knew just push as much as you can, go as slow as you need, and just do the best you can like you have with the rest of the day, and things will fall where they fall. I needed an extra meter. I think I haven't quite looked at the score I needed, but I did beat Aaron in this one, but no one came in between us. I just beat him by 1 position where I need to beat him by 2 places, and I didn't, so therefore he won by 0.5 point. So you can see me going with Carl here, both taking it pretty slow. I wasn't able to practice this event because the handles that we have at the gym were too tall, and I just wasn't able to get these things off the ground, so I wasn't able to practice. And looking back, there's probably something that I would change here. I really like how Carl is really holding it up against his shins, really making sure of that, whereas mine were kind of going everywhere. So I needed to get, even if I just got to about where Carl is now, yeah, if I'd gotten to where he was, so not too much further, I would have won the whole day. But whatever, everyone's got their what ifs, so that's mine. Some highlights for the day was Alira on the last stone there, the 90 kilo stone. Scottie here, he won the stone event as well. He killed it. And I got some other footage here of other people on stones, because I just think it's really great footage. It was a great time of night. Because it was dark, they had to get someone's truck out to use the headlights so that we could all see what the F was going on. Alira won her weight category. Scottie wins here by I think it was 10 centimeters. That's a funny tumble. He won that by 10 centimeters, which was enough for him to win the day. So that was a great result there with Oscar, and here we are nursing our battle wounds. So Scottie ripped his hands there. Alira had a chunk taken out of her, what is it there? It looked dangerous. I was worried. Her wrist there, she was bleeding from there after the natural stone. So it was a pretty brutal day, quite long. The events being tested were very unorthodox and unique, which was really cool. It kind of meant that anyone could win, you know what I mean? It wasn't necessarily who had the biggest standard deadlift or the biggest log press. It was just whoever could adapt on the day and whoever was strong and fit. Scottie made it onto the news, and Scottie won and Alira won, so Scottie's off to the Arnolds. Alira and I had already qualified for the Arnolds, so you know, Alira won even though she was up a weight category. I was just really happy with how I performed, and handing back the trophy, you know, it was kind of annoying and disappointing, but nowhere near as big a deal as I thought it would be. To me, someone who loves winning, someone who hates losing more than anything, it still didn't really change how I performed on the day or how I felt about my performance. Handing back a trophy just meant that I was coming home with a medal instead of a trophy. But my actual performance on the day, how strong I felt, how well I've trained, and how well I've taken care of my body, nothing's changed. You know, I've just don't have a trophy, whatever. Maybe I'm getting maturer. But yeah, I'm just really happy with how I did at that comp. So well done to Aaron, well done to all the other guys that I competed against and everyone in the other weight categories. Thanks heaps to Ran and Aiden at Valeo and anyone else who helped, and the judges and everyone who made it good fun. Focus switches now to the Arnolds, so most people started training for that this week. It's Wednesday now, so we've only been back in town for 3 days since this comp. We're off to the Cairo today. I've done 2 very easy days of training, just bodybuilding stuff, just having some fun in the gym. Time to cut some weight. As I said, I was 88.5 kilos for that comp, so I'm already down to 87 now. The weight fell off pretty fast once I stopped eating 3 serves of Cocoa Pops every night after dinner. Okay, thank you very much. Take care.